We're going to dig into it more with Bloomberg Intelligence senior bank analyst Herman Chan. And it's interesting because you're seeing a lot of sour moods today in the bank stocks. You're seeing the KBW Bank Index and Regional Bank Index. Most stocks in the red. Actually, in the bank index, the only one in the green today is Capital One.
Right.
What kind of overhang do you see from New York Community Bank?
Yeah, for New York Community, it is very much a bit more idiosyncratic with their turnaround in their business, de-emphasizing the commercial real estate aspect of what they do, and really pivoting to a commercial and business lending focus. That's going to take a bit more time because they're seeing some weaker credit quality, specifically with their commercial real estate exposure, and that's really taking a big hatchet to their estimates for EPS for the next couple of years.
But something that's incredible to me that even before today, you saw New York Community Bank down more than 60% this year. And you see it down another 7% today. So why wasn't a lot of this already baked in?
Yeah, the reporting today really demonstrated that the turnaround is going to take a bit more time than previously contemplated.
A lot more time?
Well, they're talking about positive earnings, not next year, but in 2026 potentially. So it's going to be a tough slog for them to really change their business, becoming more commercial focused and still dealing with the credit quality from their legacy commercial real estate exposures.
I can absolutely understand that New York Community Bank had certain idiosyncratic exposures given the rules in New York and whatnot, but how could you be so convinced that more regional banks are not going to fall prey to a greater degree to commercial real estate?
Right. So a couple of things really comes to mind. The exposures to problematic commercial real estate lending, office CRE, for example, it's much lower for the other regional banks that I cover versus the New York Community. Second, the credit quality for commercial lending is still fairly strong, so the other parts of the businesses are still holding up really well, and capital and liquidity is really strong. So there's not much in terms of red flags that really are cautionary in our view.
So when you think about the earnings season so far, do you like what you see when it comes to the regional banking system?
Right. So for the regional banks on a whole, everything was really stable. Net interest income grew about 2% on average. Lending really hasn't been materializing for the regionals, but there's expectation for that to come back as interest rates decline and the Fed cuts interest rates. So there are some positives, but at the end of the day, it's about managing rate risk, and with rates coming down, how do they manage the loans repricing and also the deposit repricing as well?
A lot of questions ahead. That is Herman Chan from Bloomberg Intelligence. We thank you so very much for breaking all of that down for us here on set.